It's coffee break. Come on, you saw me hit the record button.
I wasn't prepared.
Oh, okay. Well, it's been a boring week in entertainment other than the end of the awards. Finally, the awards are over. It's over. We can go home now.
Jeez Louise, been tired. Do you want to hear about Anatomy of a Fall again? How about Oppenheimer? How about not watch Barbie not win any awards? It's been this for months now. Would you want another not funny has-been comedian to stand in front of you and churn out the lamest jokes ever? He's gonna make fun of Barbie being a toy again. Heard her.
Jimmy Kimmel was terrible.
Flopped hard.
He was attacking AI at some point, and now I'm kind of wondering, your jokes were so bad, did a child write these, or did AI do it?
He didn't look, like, I didn't see most of it, but from what I saw, he did not look like he was having a good time. He looked angry and miserable, like he did not want to be there.
I can't imagine hosting any of these award shows is fun.
No.
Didn't Joe Coy, which... Now that all of this has happened and we've seen all the awards, right?
Yes, the Emmys was hands down the best.
Oh, yeah. No, everyone says the Emmys was... Anthony did way better than everyone else.
It was fun. They were on top of things.
I wish his mom was more aggressive in her role.
I don't blame her. Because that passive aggressivism is even more powerful.
Yeah, but it was just a fun thing. Mm-hmm. Like... John Oliver was trying to get to that moment so she can yell at him. Yeah. Because that's all he wanted, you know.
He started listing off the biggest football team.
Yeah.
Like, there's, like, over 50 dudes.
Yeah. So, the Oscars. Let's just begin right here with the Oscars.
Yeah.
I did not watch it live.
Nah. You did? Oh, it was a sneeze. Unlike me last week, though. You were able to
when
fight
you just
it off.
Sneezed.
I turned completely around the other direction.
Oh my god. Okay. So I finally got to watch the Oscars, an edited version on Hulu. Mm-hmm. And they made me aware right off the bat that this is an edited version of the Oscars.
What did they edit?
Some people's speeches.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically about... lands that people in Hollywood would be really attached to.
We can't talk about current events. I mean, we talked about Ukraine nonstop when that started happening.
Yes.
But we don't talk about current events now.
This is not the platform to talk about those things, but I am very upset that they did this.
I'm more upset that they edited it.
Yes.
Like, that's scummy. Like... To edit down someone's speech just because you're like, oh, but I don't agree with something you said in there.
Yeah. Well, somebody's running the show. Mm-hmm. And it matters to them. And I think that is a little biased. Well, actually, the Oscars itself, I think, is extremely biased.
Yeah.
And now we are faced with something very interesting. When the Oscars asked for announced their nominations, mm-hmm. right? On this podcast, I put out the poll. How much of you guys care? And those who answered, because that was one of those early questions, mm-hmm. no one gave a damn.
Nope.
And then, now it's come out, that's like all the news ever was. Literally, Monday morning, I was on my computer trying to find any information to add into this week's podcast, mm-hmm. and it's all been the Oscars. Even today, on Wednesday, the Thursday night before this thing drops, mm-hmm. it's still more Oscar news. And it's like, and anything else?
A lot that I've seen hasn't been very positive. It's been a lot of, hey, Lily Gladstone didn't win, and that's kind of sucky. Because a Native American woman has never won, and we all really painted it up like she was really gonna. We kept cutting to her during, like, speeches and whatever.
One of the bizarre things, so Native American representation in Hollywood, which has been god-awful mm-hmm. and racist and...
abysmal.
Atrocious. I mean, we can talk about all of that. Everyone is very clear that the red man thing is just mm-hmm. straight up racism.
Just getting a bunch of... they're called spaghetti westerns because they would get Italian people to play basically anyone who wasn't supposed to be the white man heroes. Yeah,
so that's an interesting thing. That's more... I don't know if I can say spaghetti westerns are racist in that fact because they're filmed in Italy.
They were racist in many other ways, though.
Yeah, well, here's the fun part. They would get the darker Italians to play the Mexicans, right? Mm-hmm. And the darker Italians are the southern Italians, while the northern Italians are more pasty. Mm-hmm. And that's a big divide that happens in that country. The northern Italians do not like Sicilians, right? That's actually why a lot of the Sicilians came over here to America and why we have such a big Italian, heritage background. You know, I am not
Foundation.
Yes, foundation, because when immigrants come here, they do pave new roads, and that's not a pun. That was terrible. I did not mean it like that. We're just gonna train on through that.
But yeah, Native American representation.
So yes, what was it? The tribe? It was either the tribe that was depicted in the film, or it's the Cherokee.
Okay.
But they came up and they performed. They did their ritual.
Nice.
They had their large drum. They were pounding on it. One guy just he obviously was a percussionist.
Nice.
They had their female singers in the background, choir, right?
Very cool.
They're in their traditional dresses and headdresses. And as cool as it is to see them perform and everything, they are performing for the most prestige and highest paid motherfuckers of Hollywood. What I witnessed was Native Americans yet again being shitted on by white people.
Yeah, a bunch of Native American performers stand up and put on their whole song and dance because it has to be this one performance. They can't sing any other songs. And they have to really hammer home this idea for this sea of white people, and that they don't even win any awards.
Yeah,
because
I saw Spielberg stand up and clap for them, and I just wanted to punch him. I was like, dude, you're the problem. You're the biggest problem right now.
Yes.
Jesus, fuck Spielberg.
Similarly, the only representation Barbie got, like, everyone saw the I'm Just Ken performance.
Yes,
Big
which
thing.
honestly, if we're gonna do a performance like that, and I'm not mad at Ryan or anyone who performed in it, Slash showing up was definitely unnecessary, but Ryan Gosling thought that it was reasonable. He's the one who asked Slash to do it.
That's fun. And Slash is cool.
Yeah. It was like, this feels like a halftime show.
It did. It was like a lot. It was a lot of pomp and circumstance.
It looked better, and I don't mean any offense towards Usher or his fans, but it looked way better than what Usher did. And I was like, why?
That rollerblading was pretty cool.
Yeah, no. Well, you can't entertain me with rollerblades the entire time. But this is an award show for film.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, do we usually have big performances like this? And it felt like they only wanted to do it because Barbie wasn't winning anything. But they wanted to have their big moment of, look, Barbie, to, I guess, present it like they care about the film, even though they obviously don't. And also, I couldn't help but notice everything they did talk about with Barbie was about Ken. Like, I understand them doing the I'm Just Ken song. That was the one that really popped off. And not enough to win the award. Got to give that to Billie Eilish because she's popular with the kids these days. But yeah, you were talking about someone else talking about understanding and relating the hardships Ken went through, and it's like, what about the women? What about the fact this is a story about the struggles of womanhood?
Yes.
Literally the villains of Barbie's movie is what the Oscars is.
Yeah, it's a little tongue-in-cheek right there. It's interesting that Greta, the director and writer, and Margot both show up to the awards, but they were not nominated.
Yeah.
And I was like, good for them for stomaching that.
They showed up to support America was nominated, but she didn't win, right? Mm-hmm. And Ken was also nominated, but didn't win. Yep. Their song was nominated and won.
What is it? What Was I Made For? Which was performed by Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish.
God, she's ugly.
They picked that song because it's the most like
No, they're trying
regular.
they're trying to bank off Billie Eilish.
They are. It really
And
is.
I wonder how much longer her and her brother will remain in the mainstream zeitgeist.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer they're gonna show up to these like awards and things. It seems so not her style.
Yeah.
Based on her songs and stuff. I saw she had a pin on, and it was a supporting Palestine pin.
Mm-hmm.
But she was wearing like Chanel, and everyone's like, the irony. do you not?
She's not American and not very brilliant. Have you heard some of her songs?
She's not American? What is she? Canadian?
She's British.
British?
Yeah.
They're British?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I would have guessed
We're going
Canadian.
back in the mainframe.
I'm typing in Billie Eilish. We'll only get Billie Eilish related things.
Dude, if this shows up in my stream, I'm going to be upset. Oh, they're American.
They are American.
They're from Los Angeles.
Oh.
God, she's ugly. Okay, I really can't stand looking at her. And when that song came in, I literally skipped it. It was the only thing of the Oscars I skipped. I cannot stand her.
Oh, there was the guy who won the soundtrack for Oppenheimer was the guy who walked up and was like, I want to thank my parents for letting me play drums and guitars and not play video games.
Yes,
and
well,
everyone was like, you're an ass.
But here we are sitting here thinking, you know, maybe if we didn't spend so much time in video games, well, we would also be popular and rich. That's a joke.
I'm just thinking about like the most beautiful soundtracks ever being like the Final Fantasy soundtrack. The Tales of the whole franchise. Ocarina of Time soundtrack is literally so iconic and beautiful.
In Assassin's Creed's heyday, like I think, what was the France one? Unity.
Yeah.
Unity won a lot of awards, even though it's not a playable game. Mm-hmm. It's a great story. It's just the game itself is broken. That's me touching you. That's me still touching you.
I thought it was a spider. Giant spider.
No, it won for like architectural design.
Nice.
Because they had to rebuild like 1700 or 1780. It's
such a shame about
old
those
France.
faces, though.
Yes, the faces that don't render, and you just have the eyeballs staring at you. It's creepy. And the story itself, the story is amazing. Mm-hmm. The screenplay, they won awards for this. That script is giant. It's like a giant book itself. It's not a movie script.
Yeah, the amount of like lines to record for a video game is infinitely more.
They also write all those side stories.
Mm-hmm. Things that you don't ever have to witness ever while playing the main part of the game. You can skip through a lot of that stuff. And you'll never know, but they have to do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, just on the topic of how important video games are, just looking at, I don't know, Jedi, right? Mm-hmm. Survivor and Fallen, right? That guy who plays Cal, I can't remember his name right now, he's actually acting and physically doing some of these moves, right? And then they have to bring in a stunt guy who actually knows how to swing the lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Look at Until Dawn, or
again revered for its screenwriting.
What was the one Hideo Kojima did? The one with Norman
Metal
Reedus.
Gear Solid.
That is
Silent Hills.
Well, Silent Hills does have amazing soundtracks. The franchise, not that one game specifically.
That game doesn't exist.
The one playable trailer, Resident Evil, has great songs and soundtracks.
I wouldn't say Resident Evil has great songs.
They have some good ones.
But sound design, yes.
Yeah. So for this asshole to just be like, video games are bad. It's like...
Yeah, why are you attacking us again?
Like, imagine if someone rolled up and was like, books are stupid. Like, you would think they were dumb. It's like, it doesn't have to be your hobby, but don't discredit the entirety of it just because you're too dumb to get it.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm going to assume.
So one of my biggest problems about the Oscars is the jokes. Mm-hmm. It's not just Jimmy. Other people, other actors were coming forward, and I get it. They're not comedians. In fact, the funniest one on stage was a fucking comedian.
John Mulaney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mulaney was fun. He looks weird. He looks really weird.
He grew out his hair.
I know.
I thought it was... What's his name? The one who's Melissa McCarthy's best friend. He's the main dude in Arrested Development. What's that guy's name?
Jason Bateman?
Yes, I thought it was Jason Bateman at first. I kept scrolling past, and I'm like, Jason Bateman got skinny. And then
Yes,
I looked
super
and I was
skinny
like,
and tall.
oh, that's John Mulaney.
Yeah, no, if you hear him, it still sounds like John. Except for he has confidence and he's sober, which is weird.
Good for him.
But, like, Kate McKinnon, who used to do SNL, can you consider her a comedian? I'd say a television comedian, which is very different than a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
And her jokes were god-awful.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't get it. It's not funny.
A lot of the
It was very lame, childish jokes that I'm like,
it's always
why?
like low-hanging fruit. Like, one of the ones Jimmy made was like, oh, flowers fall
We're really doing well.
is long. It's a long movie.
Oh, okay. So this is the joke. So he's talking about Killers of the Flower Moon. And he goes, the movie is so long. And he's talking about the length of films and how 2 or 3 years ago, the average length of films was about 2 hours. And now it's become 2.5 hours. Which I think I have talked about on this podcast before.
We've mentioned it before.
Which is an interesting thing, that movies are getting longer. Which means eventually movies will get shorter.
Yeah.
It ebbs and it flows, right? Mm-hmm. And only the good ones are like 3 to 4 hours long. Lord of the Rings. Anyways.
But what about the best movie ever, Rebel Moon? Those are going to be 6 hours long.
Well, Rebel Moon, I think that was last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rebel Moon will become a 3-hour movie. We've yet to see it.
We'll get to it when we get to it.
Yes, I'm very excited to sit down for 6 hours and
I'm
hate
so excited.
everything.
We should get, like, themed foods.
I thought we were doing pizza.
We could do that.
Yeah, so the joke goes like this. He was like, Killers of the Flower Moon is so long, by the time it would take you to finish the movie, you could just drive to Oklahoma and solve the murders yourself. Ha. Ha. So, we're going to make a joke.
5 seconds to think of that one, Jimmy.
We're going to make a joke about its length, which isn't that funny.
No.
And then we're going to make another joke on top of that that's hidden within there, layered like an onion, which is about, let's make fun of the people who died.
Yeah.
Who were horribly mistreated and hurt purposely so that someone can take and benefit from their deaths.
And also, it screams of, I didn't watch the movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't... So I can't come up with a better joke related to the source material.
I feel like Jimmy Kimmel probably just watches Coco Melon. Just get stoned as hell and just watch Coco Melon.
I definitely thought the sentence was going to end. Jimmy Kimmel just watches Coke. just
He might.
something and lays on the couch and stares at a wall.
Yeah, I never understood why people like Jimmy Kimmel.
No.
He's not a... Of all the talk show hosts, late night talk show hosts, and I've said John Oliver
He's the best.
Is the king.
Of course he's the best. He keeps winning all the awards.
And we were talking about Jon Stewart. Mm-hmm. How Jon Stewart has come back just for the U.S. election.
Whoa.
Which is another election year, and
Jon
it's
Stewart,
ramping up.
Great. The election. Ugh.
Yeah. And John, when he was doing The Daily Show, right, for Comedy Central, my parents used to watch it, and I would watch it with them. I didn't really understand politics at the time, so the jokes never landed on me.
Mm-hmm.
He had Stephen Colbert as an understudy.
I remember that.
He had Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Who hadn't done The Office yet.
Yeah.
He wasn't famous. And then John Oliver. Mm-hmm. And two of them have gone off to become these bigger known names. Mm-hmm. John Oliver continues to rake in all these awards constantly. He's just so good.
He's too dang good.
I mean...
But Jimmy Kimmel, I've never found him funny.
Yeah.
He's always got this annoying... The only one I think is less funny is Jimmy Fallon. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Ugh. like shrill, obnoxious, fast talker, just fluff piece losers.
Jimmy was definitely on coke when he was younger. Yeah, so anyways, Barbie not winning. The Oscars really just saying we don't give a fuck about other people and women.
Yeah.
And
We'll shove this Native American actress in front of the camera nonstop, but we still won't give her the award because old white men are in control of this, and they only like the old dramas. They like the one with the sexy lady Emma Stone, where you get to see her naked a couple of times, apparently.
Yeah. Poor things. We haven't seen it yet. One thing that I was kind of interested about the Oscars because of the Native American representation was years ago. I think it was Moonlight, when Moonlight won.
Wow.
Well, my bad. La La Land won first, and then Moon.
Poor Ryan. he's had a hard time with the Oscars.
I don't think he cares.
I don't think so either.
He doesn't strike me as a guy who cares about the awards.
He's too kind.
I think he cares about just having fun.
Yes, that's why he's the perfect Ken.
Well, it's funny that he plays like Dream Boy, right? Mm-hmm. He's in The Notebook?
Oh, he is.
Yep. And he always plays this like really cute, dreamy boy.
Not always.
And then
I think of Drive.
I was gonna bring up Drive, or what is it? God Has No Place Here, or something like that.
I don't know that one.
I can't remember the name. We only watched a few clips of it, but it's the same director. Drive. He's straight up just hurting people.
Yeah, I thought he was like an action dude.
Yeah,
because that was what I knew him from for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, that dude does comedy? Why? So weird of that stuntman action guy to do comedy things.
He's just a fun guy.
Yeah.
What else did I have? Oh, so the Native American thing, and then Moonlight winning, right? Mm-hmm. In that presentation of that Oscars, they made a point to drive this in to the audience. That we are not paying attention, or a majority of us, and especially the Oscars, we're not paying attention to black cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, and I actually paid attention, I was like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
And then I went off and found black cinema, and I've been enjoying it ever since. And I was like, this is the moment now where you go find Native American cinema.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much.
But it is out there.
It is out there. The last and most recent one I can think of is Dark Winds.
Yeah. I think
nope, there was the kids. The
Reservation Dogs?
Yeah, the shit asses.
Yeah.
Yep. And Reservation Dogs is another great representation of them.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't do that.
Echo.
Oh,
it's
man.
Something.
See, Echo starts strong with the Native American stuff, and then Kingpin shows up and it becomes a superhero thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where my brain just...
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It tried. It was close, but it didn't quite do it.
Well, yeah, there were some production issues.
Mm-hmm.
The Oscars... Not that great.
No.
No. And way too long. Way too long.
Yeah.
3 hours, and that was edited.
And we needed the performances and everything, but we gotta rush through everyone's speeches, and it's like, I don't care. They always just babble out the same thing. It's like, oh, I want to thank my mom and God and everyone who worked on this movie, and you all in the Academy, and then you get the next person and they say the same thing, and it's like... and if they try to say something more, they get rushed off stage before they could do anything.
Yeah. I want to congratulate Christopher Nolan for winning. Though, yeah. I don't know if this was the movie he should have won it for.
Yeah. I think it only won because it has a lot of people in it, and it's real dramatic, and it did a good job making the white people feel better about themselves.
About creating the most devastating weapon this world has ever known.
Mm-hmm.
It will probably destroy the entire planet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. I want to thank Robert Downey Jr. for winning. He was obviously hinting at the fact that he was Iron Man, and Iron Man should have won him the Oscar for Endgame.
Yeah. Yes.
He carried the entire thing.
Weren't you saying something before we started that Marvel has never won anything?
Well, that's for the Razzies. Okay. Boy and the Heron. Now, let's talk about animation.
Your kids, you need to drag your kids out for this section because only dumb little kids like animation.
So, yeah, he said something, Jimmy Kimmel said something along the lines where he was like, did any of you guys have your kids vote for you in this section? Good, because that would be wrong. And that was the joke. And I didn't laugh, and I was like, wow, okay. Screw you too, dude.
Like, it's already such an undermined medium. What are you fucking doing?
But here's the thing I wanted to attack. I noticed Spider-Man. And I noticed it didn't win.
What a surprise!
And Lord or Miller, one of the guys, he said in a tweet after The Boy and the Heron won, he said, if you're going to lose, at least you lose to the GOAT.
True.
Right?
Like, I would not be disappointed at all, knowing I lost to Hayao Miyazaki.
Yes. And then the kid who plays Miles came out and said that this is bullshit. Spider-Man should have won. It was a better movie. And then he's now gone back and said he was just being a kid and he has fight in him and whatever.
God.
Dude, your movie is half a fucking movie and it's not good.
It's so not good. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, that sucked.
The first movie's great.
It was too much. It was annoying. Yeah, the first movie's so good. It's so iconic and memorable. There's amazing lines. It's fun action. And then the second one is just, let me throw a billion stupid things on screen to keep your attention.
So one of the things was when they're saying, like, hey, this is going to be the animation feature film, right, award. There was a compilation of all the movies that were nominated.
Yeah.
And they showed some scenes of Spider-Man, but the voiceover was Jake, who plays Peter B. Parker. And he says sometimes it's just a leap of faith. And I was like, you, the Academy, you took a voiceover from the first movie. You didn't like this movie that much. You went back to the first movie.
Damn.
Why did you nominate it?
That's embarrassing. Because they didn't watch anything else. They like, who's the big names? They're not gonna... was Elemental on this list? Well, that's it. Was Wish on the list? Not gonna nominate Wish.
No, I'm so excited to watch Wish.
Really hate. Yeah, it's gonna hit streaming soon.
I know.
I'm excited.
Oh, it's gonna be a whole.
So bad. I'm excited.
God, it's gonna be great. I hope it's as bad as Aquaman 2.
It's gonna be so ugly. Have you seen it?
I know.
It looks so ugly.
So, Elemental, say what you want. I still like it.
It wasn't terrible. I think it could have been revised. It needed a bit more tightening up. I don't like the fact that the majority of the plot is about, like, business renovations.
Why? They're different.
I get it.
I almost said species. I don't know how to describe that. They're different nations.
Yeah.
That came together.
Like their relationship is good. I just wish they, like, the means of having them interact with each other was more compelling than I need to write you a citation because your permits are expired or whatever. Let's go find the fart people. That's the one joke they'll make. The clouds do fart jokes. This is the one joke. They all look exactly the same.
But then the sponge joke. Dude, that sponge joke got me so hard.
In the trailer.
It still got me. I was like, God, it's funny. So, best live action short. Congratulations, Wes Anderson, for winning The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which is on Netflix, along with the other stories he adapted.
Yeah. I don't know if that was the one that should have won, but good that any of them won.
I think it was the better made one.
No.
But it's not the one that I think about.
There was a lot of intricacy with that one, which I can understand why they would choose. And also, they're too much of cowards to give it to the real winner. The boy with and the swan. Is that what it's called?
No, dude. No. It's the rat killer. The rat killer. I think about the rat killer every now and then. I'm like,
rat killer was too much.
Roald Dahl, what the hell, dude?
Also, the snake one. They're all really. Honestly, the other three were more compelling than Henry Sugar.
The poison snake did not have to be that aggressive.
It was so tense. I was like blown away at how immediately on the edge of my seat I was. It was like my heart was palpitating through every single beat in that short. And this is the shortest one, I'm pretty sure, of the 4. But it just hammered my heart right into oblivion. Great stuff. Watch all of them. They are very good.
This is the first time Wes Anderson won the award. He's never won an Oscar for any of his other work.
But How?
I know. So in 2016,
Who won Animated Movie of the Year when Fantastic Mr. Fox came out?
I don't even know if it was nominated.
I'm upsetty spaghetti.
In 2016 or 2017, The Grand Budapest Hotel was up for Best Picture. That was my number one vote.
That's a great movie.
I love that movie. I think it's his best one.
It's hilarious. Ralph Fiennes is hilarious.
Run. And it didn't win. You know, it's like,
Who did win?
I don't. Again, the winners are always forgotten. Are we going to remember Oppenheimer after all this?
No. Is anyone going to remember Anatomy of a Fall after these last few months? No.
Okay, one more thing for the Oscars. Congratulations to Godzilla winning his first Oscar ever as well.
Hell yeah.
And here's the interesting thing. For it won Best Visual Effects, the film itself cost around $70 million.
Mm-hmm.
All these other big films like Oppenheimer cost $200 million and more.
Yeah.
What the...
What are we wasting all of our money on?
We also found out Dune 2, right? Who will show up in the next Oscars, right? Dune 2 also was considerably cheaper and people are loving it way more. And
Yeah.
I've seen Paul strap onto the sandworm,
Yeah.
and dude, what that is CGI like at its prime. It was real.
Yeah, I have no... we were wasting our money somewhere, and I don't know where.
Yeah,
It can't just be the big names, either.
Yeah, because there's so many big names in Dune.
We've been talking about Godzilla a lot, and I really want to rewatch King of Monsters sometime soon.
Yeah, well, the new one's coming out soon.
But King of Monsters is so beautiful. The directing in that one, like, it changed my brain chemistry in terms of thinking about directing.
So, the next awards, which are really fun, and I just kind of wanted to point out some really funny things about it, was the Razzies.
Yeah.
The Razzies are here to make fun of the Oscars. Right?
They talk about the movies that really flopped and no one liked.
Yes. And the big takeaway there was Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Which, it was not made to be loved. It was made for people to, like, rage bait against it, obviously.
The director, Rice Frank Waterfield, he said after it swept. I mean, this thing won.
Yeah, most of it.
It won
Yeah.
Worst Picture, Worst Director,
Worst effects, I'm pretty sure.
Worst Screen Combo, Worst Rip-Off Sequel, Remake, Worst Screenplay. And he said the movie wasn't made to make awards. And I was like, I get it. But also, that's the point of the Razzies. And you kind of got to let them do their thing.
Kind of. I'm upset that the actress from Five Nights at Freddy's was nominated for a Razzie. I thought it was good. Like, regardless of if you think the movie is good or not, I thought her performance was good. Am I wrong?
Aunt Jane?
From Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah.
Can you pull up her picture so I can double check? Oh no, that's from yeah, different actress. She was okay. I mean, I don't think she deserved a Razzie. She was fine.
So, my favorite part of the Razzies here was that the worst actress was Megan Fox. The worst supporting actress was Megan Fox.
2 different movies, right?
Yep, 2 different movies, and they still got her.
Bad year for Megan.
Sylvester Stallone got it for Expendables.
Did you see they're gonna make another Now You See Me? A third one?
I saw that, and I was like, no.
I was upset because when I saw it, it was, I think, a tweet or something, but someone was like talking about how they were very upset that the second movie wasn't called Now You Don't, and now the third movie isn't called Now You See 3.
The first one is semi-good. You have to accept,
We started to watch it once. I did not like it.
Yes. What is it? The suspension of disbelief. Right? You must put yourself through it, otherwise you're going to hate that fucking thing.
I hated it.
Yes.
Because I like magic.
Yes.
And if your whole thing is about them doing magic...
And then you see the other side, and then they CGI it.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the first one, and when I watched the second one, I was like, don't don't ever do this again. And there's a reason why there hasn't been a third one.
I also just don't like Jesse Eisenberg much. I don't think I've ever liked a performance he's done. Ever.
Oh, well, I could think of his best performance.
Lex Luthor?
It was Lex Luthor.
He's so weird.
The greatest DC movie ever made. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
It was definitely... It was definitely a unique twist on Lex. I'll give them that. It wasn't horrible, but not a fan.
And before you guys ask me about how do I feel about Zack Snyder and what he's been saying about Batman, he's trying to purposely piss you off.
Yeah. He's got nothing else going on. No one's watching his movie.
Actually, he pointed out some interesting things where he was like, more people saw Rebel Moon 1, right? Than Barbie. And he put like some numbers that he totally pulled out of his ass.
Yeah, also his numbers are wrong because
I'm sure someone fact checked it.
Because he compared it to Barbie, but he did his math wrong on Barbie based on box office, like ticket stub numbers.
That's all he was actually talking about.
And also, Barbie's first day on streaming, it got like way more than Rebel Moon did.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of people who were just like, let's just watch it again. The interesting thing about Barbie to me is that little kids enjoy it. Which is, it's kind of like Shrek, where it's made almost like it's a kid's movie, but it's a kid's movie for adults.
Yes.
Right? Shrek has some of those jokes. Like, I remember my parents and I would laugh at when they went to Farquaad's place.
Also, his name being Farquaad in general.
Yes. But when the weird puppet things, right?
Yeah.
And wipe your face. Right? I laughed because my parents were laughing. As an adult, it's funny.
As a kid, I laughed because of the weird pause in their like rhyme scheme.
Yes.
As an adult, I laugh because I understand the full joke.
They're going around the entire thing. Yeah. Yeah. Barbie, I think, was the superior film. The Redeemer for the Razzies, I thought was really, really heartfelt for them.
Which one?
It was for Fran Drescher.
Yes.
Who was nominated in 1998 for a film called The Beautician and the Beast. And, yeah, it apparently was terrible. I've never seen it, never even heard of it. But this is what they wrote about why she was the Redeemer. Because of her nomination back in the 98 and current SAG-AFTRA president for her brilliant shepherding of the Actors Guild through the prolonged 2023 strike with a successful conclusion.
She's awesome. She's a badass.
You know what Jimmy Kimmel said about her? He's like, yeah, now that she's like fixed all the strikes and we can all go back to work, now she's just reading loudly to hearing impaired children. And I was like, you just throw your president under a bus?
What an asshole.
I was
what
like,
a total loser.
Everyone,
fuck you, Jimmy Kimmel.
Everyone, even people like us who aren't part of the industry, were like, thank you for finally ending this damn strike so we can move forward. And he makes this asshole joke and then throws kids who have disabilities.
Yeah. What a weirdly mean-spirited joke all the way around. What a... Fuck you. Retire. Sink into your couch and never come back out.
I never cared about him, and now I hate him. Like, what did you do?
Why are you so mean-spirited? Is it because your career's over?
Yeah.
No one's doing anything with you except for hosting the Oscars like the little court jester of all the people with still active careers.
Also, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts story, not that great. Okay, fine. Attack AI, attack the story. But will you ever get as cool of a CGI animation of just this awesome dolly shot of all of them fighting in unison? It was very Avengers-esque. But Avengers, I don't know. It was cool. They built onto it. They made it a cooler sequence.
Another franchise he's not a part of because he's a loser with no skills.
What?
Avengers.
Oh, there's no room for him.
Where? In the garbage? I bet if we throw out the trash, we can make room for him over in the garbage.
He's the thing Hulk picks up and throws away, pretending he's angry.
All right, are we done talking about the awards?
Yes, we're done with the awards.
Oh, should we pose our question?
Yes, so Oppenheimer won Best. Mm-hmm. Which one do you think should have won?
Yeah.
I'm going to put the options, which...
All 5 of them? 5?
I'm going to put all 5. Oppenheimer, American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, Holdovers, there's more than 5, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Past Lives, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest. Or, I'm going to add this one in just for you guys, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Just kidding.
Lord.
It's Wonka.
What else did we do this week?
So, Pierce Brosnan, right?
Okay.
Pierce?
Not how I expected the next sentence to start, I'm gonna be honest.
Well, again, not much happened this week, and I was struggling to find things. But I thought this was interesting because Pierce used to be James Bond, 007, right? He played him 2 or 3 times, and then he's moved on. And he said that Cillian Murphy would be the best guy to play Bond.
Wow.
Which I was like, that's kind of a high honor,
That
you know?
is.
That's like when Stallone said he wanted Ryan Gosling.
Was it Ryan Gosling? To take up...
Rambo?
Yeah. High honor. That is a high honor.
It is. It's passing the torch and someone saying like, hey, I did this and I think this person would be great.
I guess Cillian Murphy could do it.
He could. My only problem isn't Cillian Irish?
Well, so was Sean Connery.
He's Scottish.
Dang. I couldn't remember,
Bond.
and I just had to commit.
Bond is not British. He's Scottish.
Is Daniel Craig Scottish?
No. But they made his character Scottish.
Okay.
You have to watch Skyfall. It's a good movie.
Sure.
Whether or not you get a Scottish or a Scot to play him, fine. But I didn't know we're still talking about who's the next Bond.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I'm not over the fact we just killed the last one.
Yeah, I wasn't too thrilled with the last James Bond movie. It wasn't bad, but it sure wasn't anything great either.
Look, I love the first 3.
Yeah, and I like Rami Malek, and I thought he was an interesting villain, but...
It's better than Spectre, but I definitely did not need to see the end of Bond. Mm-hmm. And that kind of bummed me out, especially when I thought he was my Bond. Daniel Craig was my Bond.
Really?
Yes.
Mine was Sean Connery. Watched all the classics with my parents. I remember the first time I watched a James Bond movie, I had homework from my health class.
Oh, nice.
And the homework was to watch a movie and write down anytime you notice someone smoking or drinking in a scene. And I filled up the paper too much. Like, I ran out of room immediately. And so I came in the next day and I handed it to him. And he's like, what is this? And I'm like, I watched James Bond. And he's like, oh, that'll do it.
Yeah, that's an interesting... Why was that your assignment?
It was to talk about subliminal marketing.
Oh.
Because they don't have commercials anymore.
Well,
they still market those products.
That's a new thing with ratings. I don't know if you noticed this. It'll say use of tobacco and alcohol.
Yep.
Whether either or, they usually show up together.
They do.
But, I guess we're super censoring ourselves. Yet you can walk into any grocery store and find both of these things.
Yeah, it's so weird to me. Like, I don't like people just because, and usually it's villains doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I've hardly seen any movie or show where a person's vaping. Mm-hmm. Which I'm like, isn't that the real problem now? Because who's really sitting around smoking cigs?
Yeah, but the boomers don't know that. The boomers making these movies don't think about those things.
That's another problem.
They're the ones still chain smoking their Marlboros or whatever.
Ugh. I'm glad I kicked that habit. Smoking cigs. Mm-hmm. That's nasty. It's not as hard to get over it as people say.
Yeah.
It's really not. And once you get past it, you can see it as pure poison.
I'm glad I never did it.
Yeah, congrats.
Yep,
Yeah.
I know. I'm pretty amazing.
Professor Sprout from Harry Potter.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember her name. I didn't write down her name.
Marion, I believe.
Nerian.
I think so.
Said she's a little worried about the Harry Potter fans.
Yeah.
For they need to get over it by now.
It's so funny. She's like, it's old. It's old and for children. It's been over 23 years. Get over it. And I'm right there with her, honestly. Not only, like, is it not healthy to cling
Hasn't
to...
been 23 years.
It's been over 20 years, hasn't it?
No.
Hasn't it? At least for the first movie.
I read the 7th book in high school.
Okay. What was that?
I'm not that old, dude.
So, but when did the first movie come out?
Oh, I was a kid.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely been 20 years since that one.
Yeah, I can understand what she's saying and how...
Also, it's not a good story. It's super racist. J.K. Rowling's transphobic.
Yeah, there's all that, but I can get that what they wanted to do was kind of make it Lord of the Rings. A new kind of Lord of the Rings. If you think about Lord of the Rings, get over it, dude. It's an old story.
I think the thing is with Harry Potter, I do agree.
I'm not going to get over Lord of the Rings.
There are big like moments in cinematography and film, and Lord of the Rings is one of them. Harry Potter's another one.
Yep.
And Marvel's up till Endgame is another.
And don't forget Schmarwars.
Just the sure, just the grandness of their stories and being able to execute them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the thing is with Harry Potter fans is they're real annoying about it. And like Lord of the Rings is great. Marvel was great. Harry Potter's not that great. Like, a lot of people talk about how, like, many plot holes there are.
Yes. One thing I was thinking about because of her saying this about it was they're going to reboot it in 2026. It'll be a TV show.
Yeah.
I am very, very excited. I'm also cautious, yet excited, because I feel like we can faithfully adapt these now.
Yeah, but I don't want to support J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing for me.
And she's tied to this thing.
Mm-hmm. And she, like, just donated, like, $90,000 to an anti-trans cause.
Lovely.
Because she's a horrible person.
I want to see an adaptation of Harry Potter where he's not shaving.
I don't know. Am
I supposed to believe that Ron is still having growth spurts?
Yeah, when the fourth movie comes out and he's like this lumbering 7-foot tall monster with his 5 o'clock shadow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really apparent when they go to the dance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the lighting on them.
Yes.
The two boys. Men.
Because they were like 20 at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
I don't know. I don't think we could try it. Just like you can't redo Lord of the Rings. You couldn't redo Marvel. Don't try to redo Harry Potter.
You can always redo Marvel.
I don't want... It took 10 years. 20 movies. Don't do it again.
Why?
You couldn't do it better than what they've already done.
I'm just messing with you. There's no need to go back right now. But in the future, maybe 50 years, you could. Like, look at DC.
I guess.
DC's rebooting itself. Also, the Batman Part 2.
The 100th time.
The Batman Part 2 sadly got delayed into 2026.
I think the thing with Harry Potter, we've seen it try to
Can I have a moment of silence?
For your Batman that isn't even out yet.
I can grieve.
The thing with Harry, they tried to persist. They had the Fantastic Beasts movies, and those were horrible. They were atrocious. They were terrible and boring and bad. Harry Potter's not got the longevity it wish it had.
I was thinking, because I'm yawning.
Get the yawn out of you. Yeah.
Mad Malkinson played Grindelwald.
Amazing.
In the last film.
I will give them that.
And Jude Law played Dumbledore.
Also amazing.
And when those two met on screen multiple times,
actors, yes.
It was awesome, and it popped off, and I was like, this is the Dumbledore I remember, and this is the Grindelwald that we kind of learned about in the 7th book.
It should have always been about just those two. And
Yeah.
then we drag the camera away to, oh, here he comes, the real main character with some horrible CG gromlin that he has to sing a twee little song to solve this conundrum.
Well, what's it called?
What? Which
What's
one?
the film series called?
Fantastic Beasts?
And where to find them?
Well, I don't know why they presented it as a Fantastic Beasts movie when clearly they wanted to tell the Dumbledore story.
Yes. Okay. Hopefully they incorporate some of that back into this new adaptation.
I don't know. I don't have high expectations for it, personally.
Mario Day happened.
It
was
did.
March 10th.
Great news! Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door, May 23rd?
You got it.
4th? One of them?
23rd. It's up for pre-sale right now.
Yeah! Yes! Yeah!
Will it do as great as Unicorn Overlord? No.
Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door is highly regarded as one of the best video games of all time.
Yes. And Unicorn Overlord is here to rule over you. It will win Game of the Year.
I'm so excited. Aren't you excited? It's gonna be such a good game.
Can we get pizza?
Uh-huh. We're gonna fight the dragon, and then we're gonna fight the witches, and then we're gonna go to the forest of doing drugs and stuff with the ghost with really big boobs, and then we'll go to the glitz
What the
pit.
fuck?
Listen, you'll see. These are all actual things.
I'm not denying that.
That's level 3. Level 3 is a trip.
When you play Legend of Zelda and you find out about the Great Fairies,
Yeah,
you realize the door's open.
we were playing Ocarina of Time, and I got to a Great Fairy, and I was just like, I can't believe they got away with this. Oh, the dog's under the desk now, so sorry if that was more than usual.
Jesus. Eggy, get out of here.
Go. Go. Go, baby.
The most interesting thing to me wasn't the announcement or release date of your game. It was that they're going to make another Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
But they didn't say a sequel.
No, it's a new Super Mario Brothers movie. Get it? Get it?
Well, actually, I read another thing where it was more defined in what they were talking about. And it's basically not the new Super Mario Brothers movie. It's not a sequel either. It's a tie-in sequel that is more about the world of Mario.
Okay.
I was going to say the Mushroom Kingdom, but he goes to other places.
Yeah. I
So-
would love to see the Delfinos. It's still going to be animated by Illumination,
Yes.
which I'm a little disappointed
But
by.
now they're working hand in hand with Nintendo.
Yes.
That was the big announcement. That Nintendo will now help them oversee some things.
My biggest, everything was fine, technically, actually. I just really hated how they animated Peach. Like, her face just did not do it for me, personally. We don't know if anyone's coming to, reclaim their roles. I imagine I don't see why anyone wouldn't want to come back if they were offered.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone had fun. Mm-hmm. For sure, you got to bring back Bowser.
Yeah, Jack Black, definitely. I think about, on the premiere, Charlie Day showed up in a green suit, and Chris Pratt showed up in a red suit, and then they were bros with each other when they saw each other. That was cute.
Did Anya...
She wore pink, yeah.
Okay.
And Jack Black had a Bowser shell on
Yeah,
the
I
back
saw
of his
that.
suit. Very cute. It was adorable.
I mean, if you're going to play these beloved characters, you might as well rep them all the way, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, another Mario movie. Great. Fine. What about Zelda?
Yeah, I think you gotta handle it with a little bit more tact.
You shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
Because now I'm very upset because there hasn't been any news. And you also made the proclamation that this will be a live-action adaptation, and I don't like that idea.
I wonder if Japan announces movies sooner than America does.
Maybe to get more funding?
Maybe. I'm not sure. But because it is
But apparently-
way sooner than usual, and I'm like, maybe Japan's the outlier.
But apparently they can make great films for less the budget that we make. Mm-hmm. The Boy and the Heron and -1.
Yep. I'm I'm nervous but hopeful. I'll reserve all my expectations for when I see something.
I think the dog farted and I hate it.
I think you're right. Oh, man.
So, the video game that's getting a new or a live-action adaptation that we were all clamoring for. I know, calm down. You're gripping your seat way too hard. It's Watch Dog.
What?
Watch Dogs from Ubisoft.
Great. Cool. Can't wait.
I know, right?
Dragon's Dogma comes out soon.
Did you see the demo? You just create your own character?
I want it. I remembered the trailer, and I was like, I want that.
You know what people have been doing? They're just creating Leon. It's just like, and it actually works. You can create Leon.
Is it on the PlayStation?
Yes.
Okay. Guess what we're doing when it comes out? It's either Paper Mario or Dragon's Dogma. I learned my lesson getting Baldur's Gate 3 on Steam. I think I'm going to have to get a Steam Deck. I don't think my computer can handle it.
Yeah, there's some workarounds with that. And I heard you on your stream, because I've been popping in on your streams.
You have been.
I've been dropping comments. Y'all don't know me.
You go by too fast.
I do. And then I disappear forever.
That's your style, babe.
Yep. Actually, big shout out to all your fans for showing up.
Yeah. They're all great.
Mm-hmm.
I should have a name for them. My critters.
No.
My little critters.
No. You need something cute, kind of like how Gizmo is, right?
Is he not classified as a critter?
No.
Gromlin?
That's a gromlin over there.
Gromlin.
That's Street Puppy.
Are you the farting gromlin over there? Yeah.
Okay, so
I had literally nothing else to say about Watch Dogs. I don't care about the game.
Yeah, I know. So Capcom showing off Dragon's Dogma 2, right? Mm-hmm. In that same delivery, they were like, "Oh, we should talk about Monster Hunter Stories because they're re-releasing it, updated, right?"
Yeah.
In the middle of all this, they were like, "Oh yeah, and Monster Hunter Stories 2 is coming to the PS4."
The console ago.
Yes.
Not the current one.
Yeah. The other one.
Great.
And also Monster Hunter Stories is coming to PS4. Sure. It's not coming to PS5.
It's also on the Switch now, or coming to Switch.
Yeah, it's coming out soon, but why?
I'm hoping that means they're working on Monster Hunter Stories 3.
I'm guessing.
Which I would really be on board for. Hopefully, they're waiting for after Monster Hunter Wilds. So then they can incorporate some of the new monsters from Wilds into Stories 3. Because they tend to do that.
When did 2 come out?
I think Rise was out.
Okay.
It's been a couple of years.
Okay, so they got World and Rise.
2 is on the Switch, so I don't remember if it was early in the Switch or not.
Okay. And then for our sad segment, I just wanted to say I'm pretty bummed and saddened by the news and the passing of Akira Toriyama. Toriyama, sorry.
Yeah, the creator of Dragon Ball Z.
Yep.
One of the coolest people ever.
I saw the artwork of Oda. Did you see Goku? He drew Goku hanging out with Luffy. And you can see one of my favorite things. He looks like Goku. The only thing is his eyes.
He's got that, yeah.
He's got Oda's eyes. And then the creator of Naruto, I can't remember their name.
I don't
But
remember.
he also released an image where Goku's hanging out with Naruto. And he also has Naruto's eyes.
There was an issue of Naruto and One Piece where for the cover on the Naruto one, they referenced One Piece somewhere on it. I don't remember how. But then Akira Toriyama turned around. No, yeah, One Piece. Oda turned around and because it says One Piece and usually the eye in One Piece is Luffy standing there, but they changed it to Naruto for that one. That was cute. I like how they're all buddies with each other. It's sad. Well, it hurts.
The thing that I love the most is, I think a lot of us can agree that our introduction into anime and manga was Dragon Ball.
Yeah. And I happened to watch, like, the beginning of Dragon Ball. I watched, what's his brother's name? Goku's brother. Raditz. I watched Raditz kidnap Gohan. Raditz. DTZ. Like radish. I watched him kidnap Gohan, put him in that, like, orb, and then they were gonna fight, and then Goku died. Yep. And I remember just, like, my brain just exploding. Every single moment was just a new explosion for me.
Yeah, no, I read all of Dragon Ball Z. A friend got me into it, and I loved it. I've seen all the movies except for Resurrection of F. There was no need to watch it. I'm not into Super because I'm a GT fan.
Super's fun. Super's got fun moments.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of Vegeta being a dad in Super. Like, there's one part where they go to, like, a mall, and then there's, like, a little, like, train set for you to ride around on with your kids.
Yep.
And Bulma's there, and she's having fun, and Bra's there, and she's having fun, and Trunks is there, and he's having fun, and in the caboose is Vegeta, arms crossed, staring.
He's just
not happy.
He's just watching his family.
It's true. It's cute. No, it's sad.
Because his real purpose in life was to become the best. Mm-hmm. And I guess to have a family. He loves his family, but he's always worried about being the best.
He knows he'll never beat Goku, though.
Yeah. But he's number 2.
My biggest thing is, so the Dragon Quest franchise, Akira Toriyama would do the art style for them.
Yes.
And I imagine they're going to keep that art style, because of course they will. Why would they get rid of it?
So many people, even I, can draw.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if after...
No, hold on. I can just draw. I'm just good at drawing.
You are. I like your art.
No, I learned a lot of drawing from mimicking Akira.
Mm-hmm. I learned to draw necks because I was looking at Tien Shinhan's traps.
Yep. Traps, collarbones.
Shoulders.
Noses, eyes. My eyes, whenever I draw a character, they're always slanted. Like, they're constantly pissed off.
Ears. His ears are always very prominent.
Yep. And then the hair is always in Goku fashion. Mm-hmm. Where I just draw these, like, long, curling?
Yeah, like spikes that defy physics.
Yes.
So I'm curious, there's no news on an upcoming Dragon Quest game yet, but when it comes out, I wonder if we'll be able to, like, kind of tell that things are inspired, but not exactly his style.
Yes.
Some people are very good at mimicking it, though, so we'll see.
Well, they're also looking to remake Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Which he also did the characters for.
Mm-hmm. He loved doing video game art, because he could go as crazy with it as you could.
Yeah, didn't he just do a new game? Sandlands?
Yes! That one hasn't even come out yet. It was based on that little, like, devil character. I think it's based on a different comic of his.
Maybe. I was going to ask you.
Sorry. Comic and manga, they're the same thing.
I was going to ask you, what was your favorite of his work?
My favorite? It might be Dragon Ball. But
okay, well, you're a fake fan. Mine was Dr. Slump.
It might be Dragon Quest. Dr. Slump was also good. I love Ariel, and I only realized recently that she has her name written on her all the time.
Yep.
And he did that so then they couldn't change her name when they translated it over to the dubbed version. Because, like, with Sailor Moon, her name is Usagi, but when they translated it to English, they changed it to Serenity. And all of them got Americanized names. Ash Ketchum as well. His name is Satoshi in the Japanese version. So he didn't want that to happen, so he just wrote, like, Bulma has a shirt that says Bulma on it when you meet her.
Yep.
So you couldn't just make a new name for them.
That's kind of a cute and smart way to do that. Mm-hmm. Yes, I will miss him. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, what a great time to grow up in, because One Piece and Naruto were really in our time. Mm-hmm. And those two creators were only able to do this because they were inspired by him.
Yeah, everyone talks about how Akira Toriyama's work inspired them to make the great things they ended up going on to make. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know where I would be without Monkey D. Luffy.
Yeah, I remember
I
getting...
guess I'd be an Iron Man fan. That would suck.
Not even just like... Even...
Man, I'm in the multiverse and there's just this Marvel version of me.
Ew. Ew.
I know, right? We're like, dude, Batman? Nah, man. He doesn't kill people.
We'll miss you, Akira Toriyama.
I hope everything's good. Okay. The box office.
Box office trolls. Yoo-hoo.
Okay, Kung Fu Panda 4. God,
Yeah.
we were all asking for it.
I know. Middling reviews, at best. Like, apparently it's not horrible, but it's not very good, especially compared to the last few films that came out.
Yeah. The shittiest thing is how good the 3 movies are.
They are.
And I would say the first one's the weakest installment.
It is. But
And
Tai
it's
Lung
only-
is so cool.
But it's only because they get stupidly better. It's like Shrek in Shrek 2.
It's true.
There's no goddamn reason for the sequel to be better.
And this
but
one...
yet, it is, and I love it more.
And just apparently with this one, it's just very, like, uninspired. Apparently the chameleon, her motives don't make sense if you remember that, like, the Furious 5 exist. I don't know what her motives are exactly, but someone was like, it makes no sense because, like, Snake and Mantis are right there. And they kind of negate the thing that she's talking about, whatever it is. I should have looked into this more, but
Yeah.
it's like... The Furious 5 not being there for no good reason because they didn't want to pay the actors, apparently.
I think they wanted to capitalize on Jack Black doing a lot more voice work.
I guess. I mean,
Because when he played Poe originally, that was kind of outside of his realm.
Yeah.
He was
Like, he had done School of Rock, but...
Well, he was a musician, right? Tenacious D. And then he also did a lot of, like, weird... indie films.
Like a lot of... he did Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal.
A lot of adult comedy stuff.
I think of High Fidelity.
Wow. No one thinks of a High Fidelity.
It's not a good movie, but it's one of those weird ones where you're like, what is going on here with this cat? The main guy is John Cusack, and you're like, what? And they run a record store, and they're sucking at everything. And then... What was that movie?
Which one?
Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr.
I have no fathomable idea.
Oh my god, it's killing. Tropic Thunder.
Oh, yeah. You should have mentioned more elements of the movie.
I didn't want to talk about Simple Jack. Okay, I felt like I might get canceled for that
You
one.
could have mentioned that Robert Downey Jr. pretends to be a black man.
I also felt like that wasn't a subject I should touch either.
Well, the point is that he's wrong. People who are like, that's blackface and it's bad, and everyone's like, yes.
You know what?
He's painted as being in the wrong.
One of the funniest moments of that movie that only gets funnier because of this acceptance and new approach towards what is truly not correct. Mm-hmm. I could say politically or any of these buzzwords that we have around us. But yeah, he's absolutely wrong. And that was the point. But when he goes, what do you mean, you people? And then the other guy comes up and he goes, what do you mean,
What
you?
do you mean, you people?
It's like comedy that was self-aware way ahead of its time.
It's really good. No, yeah, Jack Black, like, Kung Fu Panda's good. It's got a lot of charm and heart. And Jackie Chan. And then the second one's great, and the third one was a lot of fun, too. But no one was asking for this. I would be fine if the plot was he's trying to get new members to be a Furious 5, but that's not what he's doing. He's just fighting this chameleon lady. And apparently at the end, all the old villains show up to be like, you're actually really cool, Poe. And it's like, oh, that's dumb.
Does he recruit them? Lovely.
Sorry, I have no idea. I don't think so.
Okay. Dune 2, still rocking it hard.
Woo!
Sorry. Imaginary. New horror film by Blumhouse.
Yeah!
Blumhouse has a deal with Lionsgate, so we're going to see this a lot more often. Mm-hmm. Which makes sense, because Lionsgate used to make a lot of these avant-garde indie films, and then they made this one indie film they didn't really make it. They just kind of threw their money in it, and it was called Saw. Mm-hmm. And now it's their biggest moneymaker they've ever had.
I haven't heard anything about Imaginary, but the trailers look neat. And it's a Blumhouse film, so I think I know what to expect.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll walk into it.
Mm-hmm. It'll be on Netflix sooner or later or whatever.
Cabrini?
Don't know what that is.
Okay. Me either.
It's from Angel Studios. Yes, so I don't know.
Bob Marley, number 5.
Nice.
Number 6, Ordinary Angels. Number 7, you probably didn't watch it, Madam Web. Number 8, okay, Madam Web. Hold on. I didn't write this in there. I know it's a long podcast already. But apparently, Sony executives are very, very upset with Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, because she's being honest about how bad the movie is.
But then Sydney Sweeney?
I think so.
She came forward. No, she didn't. She was hosting SNL. And in her opening speech, she said, I was also in Madam Web, but you didn't see it.
But you want to know that because you didn't see it? Yeah.
And apparently the execs were like, that's funny. What?
Yeah.
And Sydney is poised to become the next big actress. Along with Glenn Powell.
Yeah, they just had that one movie together.
Yes, and apparently their chemistry is just so amazing. Glenn apparently lost his girlfriend to it. Like, she got so jealous of the movie.
Dang.
Which is kind of funny.
That is funny.
Because it's like, Glenn, you dodged a bullet, buddy.
Yeah, if she was that jealous about your acting, yeah.
Also, let's give it up to Hangman.
Hangman.
We love you.
Maverick. Best movie. One of the best
how
movies.
did that not... Again, Oscars.
Yeah.
The ones that win are the ones that are forgotten.
Did they ever give it to Everything Everywhere All at Once? Was it nominated?
Yeah, that was the
Did it
winner.
win?
That
Okay.
was the winner.
Good.
But that one will be forgotten.
I don't know. People really liked it. I think about multiverses already, so it wasn't that interesting to me. It was neat. I like the cast.
Yeah. Number 8, Migration. Number 9, YOLO.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm guessing these are a lot of like Easter themed things. Either like Easter Bunny or Jesus themed movies.
Yeah, number 10, The Chosen, season 4, episodes 7 through 8.
Yeah.
The Chosen.
Yeah, you Googled it to understand like what was happening.
And now I can't escape it. And now I'm like, do I need to sign up to Fox Nation to watch this?
No.
Because I'm super duper curious.
Yeah, I've seen the story.
Don't get me wrong. I love Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like I said, for all the wrong reasons, but I also really enjoy the storytelling of it.
I love me some fairy tales.
Okay. I was not going to be mean.
That's a compliment.
Shortly after that, or maybe years after that, there was another series for television called The Bible. Mm-hmm. And I watched all that.
I did want to watch that one, actually.
It was good.
Yeah, because I heard it was really good.
It was really good. Like, they adapted Samson's story really well. Yeah, and so The Chosen, the director and creator is a devout Christian. Mm-hmm. And he's a filmmaker, and he's using all of this to create The Chosen. And I'm like, if this guy's going to pour in his love and his effort into this craft, and I'm going to be honest, it's probably one of the greatest stories ever told.
I mean, yeah, people literally
Have died for this thing.
have dedicated their whole religious beliefs around these concepts.
Their own identities. Mm-hmm. And that is fascinating and intriguing to me as an outsider. And I like to learn about Jesus and what he's done.
He is a very great role model.
Yes, and I'm not saying I'm going to convert or anything, but I do find him very fascinating and very, very much likable and enjoyable. Mm-hmm. Then that's all I have to say there.
So we watched some stuff.
Yes, we did. We watched 2 movies that stunk. One, I was very upset that it stunk. And the other one...
Also upset that it stunk.
I guess so. So, Ricky Stenicki.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you take the 2 hottest men in Hollywood and pair them up with one of the greatest comedians
Yes.
of our time and still mess it up.
It was sweet.
Also, the director, I'm sorry, just cut you off right here.
Do it.
The director, he made Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, well, maybe.
Which is a great movie.
It's always a classic. I feel like the biggest thing was just the editing was off.
Yep.
The
when I pointed that out to you.
Between jokes was too long.
Yes, he should have chopped it up, and the jokes should not linger unless they have to linger. Mm-hmm. Right? There's a difference in telling a joke. Like, if I make an observation joke, like, maybe you should get rid of that, like, hairy mole on your face, and then we punch into the hairy mole, but we have, like, a wide shot, or a bust shot, right?
Yeah.
And then we punch into that mole on their face.
Very Austin Powers.
Yes, and that's exactly what I'm thinking. Okay.
I think the thing is, they had a lot of like, a character would say a good quip, but then we would just linger on them, like, afterwards. And I feel like the point was to make it feel like natural dialogue between the characters, but I'm over here like, go wackier with it. Mm-hmm. They also really wanted to tell like a heartfelt, emotional story.
Yes.
And it kept getting in the way of the like wacky comedy. And I would have preferred more over-the-top comedy versus the like sob story element to it. Mm-hmm. Everyone did great.
Yes.
It wasn't horrible, but no one's gonna really remember it.
I know.
Maybe it'll be a cult classic. The night before we watched it, I had a dream that it became a cult classic, so anything could happen.
It could. The two hottest men, of course, is John Cena, Peacemaker, which will begin filming its second season this summer.
Peacemaker and Severance. Peacemaker and Severance.
It will be tied into Superman, the new Superman.
Okay.
And then Zac Efron.
Yep.
Fucking the cutest. Fuck Ryan Gosling. Zac Efron is the hottie.
No.
I'm not gay, but dude.
I don't know. The work he's had done makes him look all square. Like, he's got a very square face. I think Ryan Gosling's a bit cuter. Personally. Okay. I mean, the cuteness is overloaded with all three of them. And
then one of the greatest comedians of our time, and he will prove it to us as time continues on, is Andrew Santino.
I think the guy was good too. Wes was the name of the character.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. He's the only character who wasn't a complete fucking asshole.
I think he was the funniest one. Like, his jokes landed the best for me. Yeah, yes. He was the heart. It was good. It wasn't terrible. Like, I would hardly be like, don't watch this. Like, if you have nothing to do and you want some dumb comedy, throw it on.
Well, but it's not... No, go watch it. Go watch it. Support these guys. They did a great movie. The thing is, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It's not what it's marketed to be. Mm-hmm. They keep trying to bring back comedy movies, right? Like the old Will Ferrell comedies,
the classics, right? Like Anchorman.
Anchorman, right? But it's not happening.
Yeah.
For some reason, they cannot capture this magic.
I think it's just the jokes aren't biting enough. They're very safe jokes.
Yes, they are.
Very typical.
And John Cena's character, who plays Ricky Stenicki, who's a character into himself, his whole show, his one-man show, about doing like 80s song parodies about penises.
They're very simple and boring. I don't know. I feel like it all could have been more. Because that's the thing with Dumb and Dumber. It's crazy. A bunch of bananas stuff happens. Mm-hmm. Our pets' heads are falling off. So, like, I would have loved if you just push it. But every comedy really feels reserved lately. And
yes.
Maybe that's the problem.
And that's the thing. Comedy... Even I'm still trying to figure it out, but I got a pretty good grasp on the idea of it. Mm-hmm. But in order to pull it off at those levels, it's either magic, luck, right? Mm-hmm. And just really deep and critical thinking. More
skill than you would think.
Oh, yeah.
It takes incredible skill, and not a lot of people understand that, and so they don't prepare enough for the amount of skill they need to be presented with.
Back to shitty Kimmel, right? Mm-hmm. Making the joke about Fran Drescher talking or telling books to hearing impaired children.
Yeah.
there's an idea there to make fun of her as a comedian, but is the children part really necessary?
It's so mean-spirited.
Because to me, I was like, what did the kids do to you?
It's not funny when you punch down.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like a lot of it's like, oh, punch down. Jokes are really funny when you punch up.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have tried something along the lines of, I wonder if she succeeded because she used that really annoying nanny voice.
I would have gone something like, now that she's succeeded, I wonder if I give her enough emails, will she start inviting me to her important luncheons? Like, putting her on the pedestal and painting himself as, like, the one who needs to, like, grovel to her.
Yes.
But that sounds funnier to me than, your voice is annoying and loud, dur.
Well, no, I'm not making the joke. I'm just workshopping it.
Yeah. I'm just mad at Jimmy.
Again, I don't think the obvious answer is attack children. What the fuck are you thinking here?
So dumb.
Okay.
We also watched...
Fucking Wonka.
It came out. Timmy Chalamet's Wonka.
So, here's the thing. Timmy, love you, bro. Sexy Wonka. Wasn't that sexy, but his voice, holy shit, dude. You got a voice.
I guess.
Paul Atreides can sing.
It was just so twiggy. He was so sickeningly saccharine. And I understand the point was that he was a very positive, upbeat, optimistic individual.
But he also came out of nowhere.
He did. And
that kind of bothered me.
It was the whole movie. He's like, oh, golly gee, Willikers, having a good time, hope and dreams and chocolate smiles. And the whole movie, it got very tiresome.
The whole movie felt like a layman's way of explaining capitalism, because the bad guys were also candy makers.
Yeah.
And they got scared of the newcomer who was going to change things.
Those big guys with money and power are bad. But when I'm a big guy with money and power, I'll be good.
No.
Because it's me.
And then the tie-in where you find out at the very end that it's supposed to be tied into Gene Wilder's.
Yeah.
Which is the original one. I grew up watching that one. Mm-hmm. I love that one. I have a box set. They only made 2,000 of these things.
I think it's nice.
And I have one of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think it's...
I'm a fan. Didn't read the book.
It's not... You don't need it. I think it's incredibly sad that way. Because Gene Wilder... Help. Police. Murder. Like so much ennui within that man. And to see the upbeat, chipper twee little Timmy running around, and knowing that eventually... And he has this whole gang of friends that follows him throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And to know that eventually he ends up alone, bitter, and mean-spirited means so much hell had to happen to that man between the end of this movie and the beginning of the Gene Wilder movie.
Yes.
And that's such a sad concept.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that.
Yeah, Wonka, just like Roald Dahl's other stories, where you kind of find out there's a great idea, and then it always just becomes sad and disturbing. And you're like, what the hell, dude?
The biggest thing with Wonka is not a people person. He's, like, mean and rude, and he doesn't care. But when we're talking about candy, that dude is balls to the wall about his candy stuff.
That's his expertise. His confectionery.
Yeah. So when he's talking about his passion, he's all about it. But in any other, like, normal situation, he doesn't know what to do with people. And I wish they played into that idea more, rather than the tweeness that Timmy Chalamet delivers.
So it was a musical.
It sure fucking was.
Didn't have to be.
It was bad.
The best song was the last song, but that's because that song was written 50 years ago.
Yeah. Every song was so forgettable.
Yes.
Like, terrible rhymes, and they relied on using the word chocolate too much. It was always chocolate, not chocolate. Chocolate. And after, like, the third song that relied on chocolate being a part of the hook, I'm like, can we not... sugar, any other word, for the love of God, please. The most fun I had was when I realized two of the actors in it, for a brief scene that only lasted, like, a minute, two of them were in Taskmaster before.
It is a British film, which is rightfully so.
Mm-hmm. Even though Timmy's American.
Is he?
Yeah, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
No, his dad's French.
With a name like Chalamet? Who'd have guessed?
Timmy did great. He did everything he could have. I want to see more. I want to see how much bigger this actor can do, right?
Yeah.
Because people are loving him as Paul now.
He wasn't even bad as Wonka. The movie was bad.
Yes. And one of the worst parts, and barely in it, yet somehow in the marketing, is the Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is everyone giving Hugh Grant so much flack? He deserves all of it. Dude,
half-asses it entirely.
I hated him. I hated the Oompa Loompa. It was just annoying. It
took like more than half the movie for him to show up on screen.
Yeah, at some point he just dips.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, what the...
It was so weird and dumb.
Why?
I also hated how they relied entirely on CG. The set was tiny. A lot of it was CGI'd. And a lot of it, I'm like, this would have been more impressive if it was a practical effect. Like, you couldn't have gotten a real giraffe for one scene. Like really?
I don't know. I don't condone animal cruelty.
Like, it doesn't even need to be the part where he's milking the giraffe. That's the thing. They need to get giraffe milk because... But, like, we could have gotten a real giraffe to stand in the room once for, like, a wide shot or something.
You gonna milk that giraffe?
I'm just saying, you don't need to actually milk the giraffe. But also, other things, like, they're candy-making things, and I understand they're trying to be wacky and crazy, like Roald Dahl usually is, but the original movie was all practical effects.
Yes.
And that magic really hits home, because you can see it really happening. When the CG kicks in, it's like, oh, there's that green screen they're floating off into.
Yep. Yeah, Wonka was a big letdown. And well, the weird thing was, so Warner Brothers, God, you fucking assholes. I swear to God, if I could just go 1 week of doing this podcast for the next year without talking about these.
Yeah, good luck.
God, they're pissing me off. They put this movie out against their own movie, Aquaman 2.
Both are bad. They're both bad.
Yeah.
No wonder they had to hedge their bets. If one is a flop, the other one might pick up some numbers.
And you got all those people who have kids coming in to see Wonka because they're like, oh, it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I'm sure they all grew up watching the same movie that I saw. Also, I will not accept the answer that you like the Tim Burton one.
Also, the poster's bad.
It is. It's too much.
It's ugly. It's hideous. It's sensory overload.
The poster will be on the thumbnail of this thing.
It's...
because it's so much. It's not good looking.
I would never want to watch this movie again.
Okay. Let's move on past this. Mm-hmm. Oh, they do want to make sequels.
Of course they do. We gotta watch the downfall of this man as he turns into the bitter, angry, lonely individual we know Gene Wilder should be.
What the director was saying is he wants him to go to Oompa Loompa Land to find the other Oompa Loompas to fulfill that part of the story.
Did I ever tell you about how, I don't remember his name. Who played the bear in The Bear? The cooking one.
You realized, like, I was like, bear?
Jeremy Allen White. That's his name.
Like, there's a lot of bears.
He looks like a young Wonka. He looks like a young Gene Wilder. 100%. Mm-hmm. There you do that. Timmy's great, but he looks like Johnny Depp.
Jeremy is a also really great and talented actor.
Yes.
They're both fucking amazing to watch.
There's a lot of really cool up-and-comers that I'm excited about.
Yes. If Wonka 3 is a thing, or Wonka 2, I don't know where... I guess it's Wonka 2 now? Even though it's technically 3?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's just get on with it.
Oh yeah, we also watched Mean Girls yesterday.
Mean Girls sucks. It's not as good as you think it is. It's terrible. And why are they adults?
Like, you're so hung up on that. That's so common. You think Zac Efron was a teenager when he was singing about how he didn't know whether he wanted to do basketball or theater?
Yeah. And I'll bet on it.
When Tia and Tamara were doing any of their things, do you think they were teenagers? They weren't. Do you think iCarly was a teenager?
I thought you were going to ask me if they were twins.
They They've been secretly like quadruplets this whole time.
We'll move on. Okay, let's do this. It's Pokemon news.
Yeah. What news is there?
Well, we watched Horizons.
Yeah. The dub finally showed up.
Pokemon Horizons is good. But here's my problem. When you begin to watch it, you're going to realize and feel this strange energy of this is a spin-off.
It definitely
It's
feels
not.
different.
You're like Pokemon, but not Ash. Like, it's so weird. 25 years.
I think
30 years?
I think for me more than that, I think. No, 30. The biggest thing for me was our goal isn't the gym leaders.
Whoa.
We hint at that being Roy's goal in like
Yes.
the second to last episode.
And I'll say this right now. I love Roy.
Roy's great. I like
Roy. Fuego, go, 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 go.
go play go.
Go.
I like Freed. I like everyone on the.
Yeah, I didn't like Freed until the end, and I was like, damn, he is so cool.
It's when I was like, oh, it's the man with his two dumb adopted children that he doesn't know how to raise. That's the story. We only got really the first half so far.
First fourth.
Yeah, because they are real slow with dubbing over here in America.
The bad guys, I'm a little interested about.
There are a lot. One of them's Matthew Mercer.
Yeah, I did not expect Matthew Mercer to show up.
There's a lot of Pokemon, a lot of fun. I like how it's not just Paldea Pokemon. Like, the engineer has a Metagross. She didn't get to, like, shine in this first season yet, but Metagross is dope.
Yeah, no, I love it. It is still Pokemon. The thing that just made me just like, it's weird. It's not having Ash.
It is weird.
I never thought I would say this. I fucking miss Ash.
He has such a good energy. Roy adopts a lot of that energy, but it is different.
But, like, Roy, to me, yeah, you think of him as Ash. To me, I think of him as Go.
They got similar vibes as both of them.
Of all of Ash's arcs, sorry.
Arceus.
Arceus. And
Ash becomes God.
it was Go. When Go and him become friends, that was, I think, it was the highlight of the whole series.
There was a really
I love
friendship.
Go became my favorite psych. It wasn't Brock, Misty, May, Brandon. Who's the weird guy from Unova with the green hair?
Silent.
Yeah, don't care about him.
He wasn't great. He was fine. Not as good as his game counterpart. In the game, he's like shy and like
He was
nervous.
still shy.
No, in the anime, he was like real bombastic.
Okay. But it was weird to go from like, I'm going to be a Pokemon master to Liko?
Yeah, Liko, it's so sad, but she's the weakest part so far.
Too much voiceover. Too much doubt in this character.
Like, I understand, like, being uncertain, but golly gee.
Dude, there's, the third or fourth episode where she's like, everyone's fighting over me, I'll just surrender. And she starts to surrender, and then Freed goes, what are you doing?
Yeah, and my biggest thing is her monologuing was like, so we watch her jump off a building, and then Freed swoops in and saves her, and then they fly towards the moon. And as they're doing that, her internal monologue goes, this is amazing. I can't believe I made that leap right off the building. But Freed saved me, and now we're flying towards the moon. And I'm like, I know!
Yeah,
it just happened. There wasn't even like an ad break or something.
And the cool thing about Roy, he has no... Well, he had some doubt. His real doubt was about Fuecoco.
Yes.
Because he wanted to befriend Fuecoco and go on this adventure.
Very cute.
And Freed goes, but do we know how Fuecoco feels about you? And then we see Fuecoco's side where he's like, I want to be with him.
Fuecoco's been running around the whole time trying to find him.
And it's a cute, adorable episode because at the end they find each other and they are a team.
I also really like Dot, being Nito thing.
Yep.
Wanting to be friends with them, but being also very conflicted.
I was a little upset with Nito thing.
Yeah.
Because there's segments of them doing a podcast or a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And they're teaching you all about Pokemon from the ground up, right? My thing is, I'm in my 30s.
Yeah.
I already know how to catch a Pokemon. Don't tell me.
I do
But
appreciate that.
it's also, this is a reboot for kids.
She goes through it very quickly too.
Yeah.
Like it's smart, like eye-catching, builds the like in-universe lore around the character, and she does tell you important things. And I was glad that every episode she had something different to say.
Yep.
So that's fun.
Roy is my favorite. If you watched Garbage Eggs, you would know specifically why he's my very favorite. And actually, that's a lie. It's not only because of the secret Pokemon that he has. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, that pulled me out of the world, and I was like, I just want to be your friend.
That plotline is the thing that has me the most hooked. Especially
Dude.
when we see the one at the end, too, in the forest.
I know.
And I'm like, what else is there? I love finding...
And there's this
it's
lore.
Like it's like the Dragon Balls of Pokemon
Yep.
now. I want it. That's my favorite thing.
But also, Roy's not afraid to get into a fight. Mm-hmm. We saw him fight a gym leader.
He's not afraid to get into a fight, but he hasn't won one yet.
Well, I wasn't going to spoil it. But he does lose. And you know what? That guy cheated.
It's also...
He terrestrialized, and Roy doesn't know how to terrestrialize.
Roy is...
You know what? Let's bring in Ash. Let's get him back. Get out that Pikachu or Gengar, and give him his Z moves.
Yeah, have the ultimate champion beat the first gym leader. Well, also, Precious...
You know what? No.
Precious isn't the first gym leader, he's the second. So Roy should be fighting Katie
it's
first.
not fair.
True.
To do that on a kid who's just learning. To be like, hey, I can super ultra mega evolve. Like, what?
He's got to learn one way or another.
Like,
he also doesn't let it get him down. That's another good thing.
Yes, he's got positive attitude.
When he does eventually win, it's going to be so satisfying.
Oh, man.
His growth as a character. And then when he's like curb stomping people with his amazing team.
His Skirtlage.
His
Black Rayquaza.
I don't know what either of them... Because neither of them caught any other Pokemon.
Did you think that was in the Pokeball?
I wasn't sure, because I had seen the Black Rayquaza. But I didn't think we would open it that soon.
I was on my phone, and then when he opened it, I looked up, and all I saw was Rayquaza staring at me, and I was like, okay, you have my attention. I'm here. I want to be here. I saw it in the promo art, and I was like, what is it doing here?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, Roy, we're going to go on this adventure together.
Neither one of them caught any new Pokemon for their team yet. It's just she has Sprigatito and he has Fuecoco. Mm-hmm. I'm dying to know what other Pokemon they catch, because it's not going to be just Paldean Pokemon.
Yes.
I'm so excited. It'll be, because with Ash you could kind of like guess which Pokemon he might be coming across in his journeys.
You know what episode I'm going to be very interested about is Annihilate.
Yeah.
How do you explain that to children? That this thing gets so pissed off, a primate gets so pissed off, it punches itself to death.
He gets so angry, he dies.
And then comes back stronger.
I really liked Horizons. I can't wait for more, honestly.
Yeah. No, I totally loved it. It's just, again, the first half you're going to be like, having this nagging thought, at least I did. And then the other half you're going to be like, okay, we are going on a new adventure with a new team.
Very fun. The opening was ass.
Oh.
The opening theme song is terrible.
You ready? I've got a feeling I'm becoming me.
It's such not a good hook.
Just auto-tune that, and that is exactly what that song is.
Ugh, like the visuals weren't great either. Nah. like it's definitely no, I want to be the very best.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to beat that. It's like the Power Rangers song. What's coming in with those fucking metal guitars and the wailing choruses, and you're like, yeah, they don't make songs like that.
So, this is a long podcast.
It is.
We said this was going to be short.
Yep. Well, no, I'm glad we did it.
Yes.
We had a really tough week.
Yes, we had a lot, and it's surprising, even though nothing happened, we had a lot to talk about.
Yep. I'm glad to hang out with you guys, and I love the reaction and reception from the last podcast, and Unicorn Overlord.
You got lots of stuff in the works.
I do, and something will come out soon.
I'm excited. I've been streaming a lot more. I plan on streaming even more. If you're catching this the week it's coming out, I'm planning on streaming this Sunday. I'll make a schedule tomorrow.
Yep.
I didn't have time today.
Exactly. Just life happens. And, you know, guys, just remember, like, when things get you down, the real thing and the real move is just keep going forward. Even as hard and I achieved the impossible. Mm-hmm. And even that was a feat unto itself.
Yeah.
And you can do it too.
Yeah. When life gives you lemons, you make...
orange juice.
You take the lemons and then resell them at a higher value.
All I can say is I'm becoming me.
Bye.
Bye.
Nope.
Oh. Testing.
It's like a Doppler effect, like.
I learned a lot about this mic and the distance you need to be when looking at it.
Oh, did I never tell you about that? I should have told you about that a long time ago.
I learned some of that.
Oops.
Re-recording my audio for Skinwalker has been a nightmare. Because it's just me spiking everything. Because I'm like...
You're like inside the microphone.
It's like, stop.